Yo, what is up everyone, and welcome back to another YouTube video with your host Kenkukun. And today we got another Destiny 2 Trials training video. We're going to talk about the Void 3.0 Warlock. Now, some of the things that I've noticed about the Void 3.0 Warlock is that it's really powerful. It was powerful before the Void 3.0 and it's more powerful after. I've been running a lot of Titan shields. I think the Titan shields, when you have one Void Titan on your team that plays it well, right, that does well with it, you are far better off with one of those than one Void Warlock. Now, there's a lot of people out there that still like to run Hunter. Hunter's cool. It's crazy. It's what you love to run. But in my opinion, it's when it comes to builds in the game, it's the worst class to run for builds. And I'll explain that in the Hunter video. If you want to throw some heat over there or tell me I don't know what I'm talking about or anything else, save it for that video. I will talk about Void 3.0 Hunters, and then I will also talk a little bit about Hunters in general and why I say that. So remember that, all right? But we're going to talk about the Void Warlock. I would say the Titan, right now, the hierarchy for Void classes is... I'm going to say it's going to be Titans, Warlocks, and then Hunters, right? As in from strongest to least strongest. Titans, Warlocks, and then Hunters. And Hunters are far and away probably the worst now. So if you have 3 Titans especially, it's Titans, Warlocks, Hunters. If you have one of each on the fire team, you're probably going to gain more benefit out of the Warlock than the Titan, unless the Titan knows what they're doing and everyone knows how to play against Axiom bolts, right? And this is what I'm talking about. The Warlock build. Let's go ahead and dive into the Warlock build. What am I running, right? So as you can see, I'm running Controverse Holds, improved charging for Void Grenades, resist incoming damage while charging your Void Grenade, charge Void Grenades, return grenade energy when they hit someone, right? So I'm running that to get my grenade back faster. The whole point of this build is to spam my grenades. Spam it. This is the season of abilities. Spam it, all right? Spam those abilities, right? So to go a little bit more in depth with my build, I make sure I have 100 discipline no matter what, all right? With Controverse Holds, if I get a hit with my grenade, it turns into a 20-something second grenade ability cooldown. And then I'm running Double Bomber, which makes it even cooldown more. When I drop my Rift, I start to get my grenade back faster. Right? It gives me a chunk of it faster. I also have Grenade Kickstart. So I already start. I probably save 3 to 5 seconds just for throwing my grenade. Just right off the bat. Right? And then, as you can see, I have grenade, recovery, grenade. My intellect is fine. My recovery, I do want my recovery as high as possible because the more I can lay down rifts, the more I can proc bomber, the more grenades I can throw. My mobility is fine too. Now, I used to run transversive steps, and they were the #1 exotic in the game for me. There was nothing else even worth running. There was nothing else even worth running on my Warlock, and I ran transversal steps for a long time. Lightweight frame shotguns came back into the picture. I picked one up, and I didn't look back because since I shotgun and lightweight frame shotguns come out and do the exact same thing that transversives do. The only thing they don't do is reload my weapon, but I get that movement bonus from it. It's like having my transversive steps on, but it's not an exotic. All right. So the benefit of that is I get the movement mobility without sacrificing an exotic slot. And now I get to open up my build. Now I have a grenade build. So let me go ahead and take a look at the aspects real quick. So right now I'm running Child of the Old Gods. You can run this. You don't have to run this. But I do like having Child of the Old Gods. It's annoying for people to deal with. Sometimes it's wonky in whether or not it wants to go do its job. Bungie said they were going to fix that tracking. Sometimes it won't even go when I'm shooting at an enemy. It won't go attack the enemy. It's still kind of wonky. But I would say it's better than Devour, which is Feed the Void. Defeat a target with a Void ability to activate Devour while Devour is active. Final blows restore health and extend Devour. Now, I'm not saying... Okay, so I wouldn't say Child of the Old Gods is better than Feed the Void. They both can be very good. and they both give 2 fragment slots, right? So you're not really choosing one or the one over the other. It's whatever you want, kind of whatever fits more of your play style. You want Devour because you're going to go get more gun skills. Or once you get Devour proc, you're going to be a little more aggressive. Go for it, right? I don't mind putting down Child of the Old God and make people, distracting people, making them weak, taking damage, stopping them from getting revives where, in other scenarios they would get revives, and stuff like that. This is the aspect that you need to run. Hold to overcharge your grenades, making it deadlier and more effective. You want this, all right? It's very important that this aspect is on for this build. Now, this is, again, just how I like to run my build. My fragments are as followed. Echo of Dilation. Now, it gives me more mobility and intellect. I took it more for the stats than anything. There wasn't really a void ability that I wanted to run with this that was going to benefit me a lot. Your lingering grenades are going to last longer. So Echo of Remnants, this is that grenade fragment that I talked about in the Void Titan one. It should be on everyone's class. And then Void ability, Final Blows, cause targets to explode. Now, there was another one I was going to run, but it was minus this Echo of Undermining. I would run this over the Echo of Dilation if I could still keep 100 discipline. With my equipment, I can't do that. You might be able to do it. And I love to weaken enemies, weakening them, making them slower. That is really good, right? So I really like the weakening aspect of the Void. It's kind of like stasis. Everyone hated stasis. Why? Because it made them slow. It froze them. They don't like when they can't move and do all their cool things. Movement is the most fundamental thing in the game, right next to guns. Before the guns come into play, movement was there, and movement will always be there. When you're in a cutscene and you can't use guns, guess what you got? You got movement. When you're in the tower and you can't use your guns, you got movement, right? Like there are places, very few times, where you can't use your guns, but you are moving. But the point is that it is the most fundamental thing in the game is the movement, all right? So with that said, let's go ahead and dive into the private match, and I'll just kind of show you some of the things that I've picked up on my Warlock this weekend, and we'll just talk about kind of how you want to play how I would recommend you play your Void Warlock. Now, you can run, I was running 2 different grenades. I was running Axiom Bolts, and I've been running Vortex. So with Axiom Bolts, and my build goes as follows: Discipline, and then I try to get Mobility, which, I've just built my armor for Intellect and Mobility for so long. I just had a lot of pieces lying around that I was just able to throw together. My Intellect is up there because it's up there, right? Recovery would be like another really big thing to run. And I'm not really too worried about my strength. So what I've noticed with my Void abilities is this is now unlike the Titan where I would say, hey, maybe you should, I come out here and I challenge. Maybe I didn't cover this in the video for my Titan one. Oops. I recorded it like 4 times. And it turned out 30 minutes long. So I would come out here and I would challenge right away. If the wheel was up and I could see, the first thing I would do is challenge with my weapon. My abilities are my secondary, right? Which is what Bungie intends. A lot of people, I'm not saying you can't spam. You can open up with your grenade if you want to. But I challenge with my gun first. What I want to do is I want to make the enemy weak enough that when I do get ready to throw this grenade, they're going to die from it, right? So there are some times where all of the enemies are looking at me, right? They're all 3 there. So that's when it's like, okay, throw a grenade. Notice how I throw that grenade too, right? It is very important. I didn't look at this, right, and throw it into there. I said, okay, if they're going to be at the doorway, I'm going to charge it up and I'm going to throw it at this wall. I'm going to get my grenade back fast anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And now I've ripped it up. I've got my grenade, If my grenade doesn't tag them and make them move, if I get a bullet on one of them and this actually tracks, it's going to make them move, or they're going to have to team shoot it, one or the other. So I've already set up, and by that time, I got another grenade back. So one of the big things I want to point out is the Axiom Bolts. The Axiom Bolts are the most powerful grenade in the game. There are a lot of complaints about the Axiom bolts. It's most powerful on Warlocks. It is most powerful on Warlocks. This is why I say that the better grenade to run is going to be Vortex on the other subclasses. However, people are spamming Axiom bolts. They're, oh man, it tracks forever. They're overpowered, blah, blah, blah. It's like, it's worse when you play 3 Warlocks because they get to overcharge them. They travel faster. Sometimes you can't even outrun them. That's how fast they... And I'm running with a lightweight frame shotgun. I get a head start, and they still catch me, and I die. Like, because I'm weak, so I die. It's happened quite a few times. The Warlocks get... You know, this is the bread and butter of Warlocks, is grenades. They get to enhance their grenades. It is one of the things that the Warlocks can do that the other classes cannot do. And I love it. So, how does the Axiom Bolt work? When you throw it towards an enemy, and the enemy's in line of sight and within range, and it has a pretty good range, and within range, it'll form an Axiom Bolt for each target in its range, up to 3 if you have the right setup, which I do, 2 if you don't, and track them, right? You don't have to look at them. The grenade has to look at them. You do not have to look at them. The grenade has to look at them. And I'll give you a prime example. I found a really cool combo that sometimes it paid off, sometimes it didn't. It depended on how well my gunplay was, right? And this was it. It was, all right, first off, make sure you're not getting shot from there. But it was, you see that wall up there? It's, you throw the grenade. People think, oh, you missed. 1, 2, and the grenade is tracking the guy on top, right? It's how well is your gun game for this guy right here? Like that, you get 2 shots, 2 headshots on them. If they don't have an answer for that, or they don't move, and they don't realize, that grenade is on them, and it gets that kill, and now you've opened it up, right? So that's a prime example of, I'm not even looking at the dude, but I found a place to play that grenade. You could play it over here, but you know, if you want to challenge, you have to slide past this lane. There could be 2 or 3 people there, and the dude up top. You're probably gonna die. But it's grenade first, and then that gives you a brief moment to get in there and get your shots on them, right? Again, your grenade allows you to not have to look at enemies. If you come in from the outside, let's say this is your lane, this is a really good spot because you can play a lot of angles off of that. I come in here, right? Boom, boom. I'm in the room. I sit down. I wait. It's like, okay, oh, they're at the back. Grenade. All right, and then I peek, right? So if they have to peek out to look at me, the grenade's on them. If I want to challenge them from the middle, you know, I put a grenade. They're in the middle of the map. I have my grenade ready right here, and I throw it short, right? I have it land in front of this, and I throw it short. Or if I know they're not challenging me from the left side of this pillar, I can throw it to right there, to that face of the pillar. Heck, I could throw it all the way behind the pillar. Well, okay, that hit the pillar, but you get what I'm saying, right? So you want to throw your grenades from cover as often as that is the beauty of it. And then if you accidentally do get shot, as long as it's not like sniped in the head or something like that, your controverse holds are doing what? They are, let me read it one more time. Resist incoming damage while charging your void grenades. They're making sure you don't die as often. So, oh, I shouldn't have peeked while throwing that grenade, but I did, and I still lived. It works out, right? So again, that's what you want to do with your void Axiom bolts. You want to throw them, and you don't even have to look at the enemy. But if you do, your controverse holds are going to help you stay alive. The more enemies that are there, the safer you need to be. There's actually a lot less I have to say about this than I did the Void Titan video. Wow. Because there's just a lot more you could do with the Void Titan shield. With the Axiom bolts, it's literally that. Throw it from cover, stay safe, let it do its job. If try to anticipate, I guess I would say. So let's say you start up on the inside of the spawn, right? And you come to the middle, and the enemy likes to go, they start up out there. They like to go around to the right side, right? We're going to wait for this wheel to turn real quick. But preemptively throw your abilities too. You're going to get them back. It's not like you're shooting sniper bullets with ricochet rounds and you're praying the ricochet round hits them, but you don't see an enemy. No, you're getting your abilities back. So on my Titan shield video, on my Void Titan video, I talked about throwing my Titan melee down there and starting the fight, right? You could also do it with the grenade. With the axiom bolts, you could do that even more. You catch them on the radar going to the right. As soon as you identify that they're running to the right, just charge it up, throw it, right? And then shoot. Like, get ready to shoot, because now they're coming in, and a lot of people, how do they challenge? A lot of them, they slide in. They're slidey boys. They're slidey girls. They're trying to slide. They want to, like, that's a staple of Destiny. Slide, shoot. So the grenade's going to be on that ass, right? So get the grenade out there early. Other than that, like, there's not much else I need to say. Notice where you can and can't throw grenades. I guess, another thing that I noticed was here, the bridges, all right? So on this map, and again, you want to identify this in all maps. So once again, play an elimination where you can. Get used to this, get used to Void 3.0 in elimination before the maps come around for trials. Let's say you have the enemy team on the bridge, right? Let's say there's, no matter which side, let's say there's one enemy and they're on this side of the bridge. Your grenade goes here. You want to throw your grenade here, or here, or here, or here. You want it to land on the opposite bridge. You don't want to try and throw, if you're going to have less wiggle room. Let's say you can't peek here because there's an enemy back there. So you have to throw your grenade from here. You're going to try to throw it to there. You have to, like, look, it missed. I was actually trying to aim. Wow, I'm like, wow, that was trashy, but it missed. I have to even put more effort into aiming it. No, just no enemy here, and even if they are, just take more wide range, right? Just move more to the side. Throw your grenades, get them there. Yeah, get them there. Now it's going to track the dude on the right, right? So it's going to make them move. It's going to make them shoot at something else. It's going to give your team maybe a brief window to do something. My melee, I didn't really talk about too much. I guess I should talk about that. The melee ability, you throw the ability, and once it gets near an enemy, it'll track. It has a really high tracking. Once it gets close to them, it will just hit like a 90-degree angle. I've seen it hit almost 180-degree angles, but a lot of 90-degree angles is where you're going to see its sweet spot. The grenade works like, the melee works like this. When it hits the enemy, whichever way the enemy is moving, that's the way it's going to push them. All right? Let me read the ability real quick so you know what it does. All right? Launch an unstable ball. The target is afflicted with unstable void energy and will explode upon taking additional damage. Launch an unstable void energy that detonates when it's near a target, pushing them away from the blast and making them volatile. So pretty much, it's not, it sounds like if I threw my melee, and I don't want to waste it right here, short cooldown. If I threw my melee like this way, and an enemy was over here, under normal circumstances, if they didn't move, the grenade would, the melee, the orb would track like this, and it would about right here. Boom! It's in their radius. It's gonna immediately just cut that angle and hit them. And under normal circumstances, it would push them back because they're not moving. However, what I've noticed is when they are moving, whatever direction the enemy is moving, because what I think is happening is at the time the orb sees an enemy, it tracks to that last known location and tries to hit them. It kind of like I've walked in front of where the detonation would have been, right? It's kind of tracking where you were versus where you are at in the now. That's how I perceive it. Now, I think it would, if I'm trying to outrun it, it would still track me, but it moves so fast, like I can't really outrun it. Like a backrest probably could, and I would be interested to see if it would try to track it through the backrest. However, so for the rule of thumb, as I would say, is whatever direction the enemy is moving, that's the way it's going to bounce them. So if they're running at you and you throw that melee, get ready. They're coming they're going to come to you that much faster. I've thrown off so many people by just that orb alone on my Warlock, so it's very useful. And you can use it again like the Titan Shield, where I would hopefully it's in the video that I recorded that I'm going to upload. When enemies would come up to the stairwell, I would throw my Titan Shield at this wall. And I'm just saying, hey, I know you're there. You're not being ignored. Just know that I know you're there. But I would go off to do something else. Like, I'm behind my Titan Shield and I'm shooting someone else. Same thing with the melee. It's like, oh, they're kind of close. you know, throw it and hope it, you know, tracks them and let them know, hey, I know you're there. You want to come get some of this, you come get some of this, right? And then I go do whatever else I'm going to do. You know, you could also combo it up with the that. Anyway, that's it for the video. Again, for my Void Warlock, this is the season of abilities. People don't like to hear that. People are, you know, crying and complaining that Destiny is a gun game. Destiny is a space magic movement-based game with shooter mechanics. I said it. You can start the war later. Thanks so much for watching the video. Let me know in the comment section below how you're playing your Void Warlocks. Any other exotics that you're trying out right now, controversial holds and grenades. That's the bread and butter of the aspects for the Warlock, so I'm just kind of capitalizing. The Void 3.0 took one aspect from each class and just highlighted it and made it stronger, right? I'm going to capitalize on that. That's the point of the build, so people are really seeing, like, builds are happening, and I don't think too many nerfs should happen to a lot of things until the other 3.0s come out. And then we should really kind of like focus in and see what needs to be tuned and what doesn't need to be tuned. That's when it would matter the most, right? Or we get stasis, where stasis is kind of in a very crappy position across the board. And now it's just all about Void, where stasis used to reign supreme, but now no one's going to run stasis as much, right? We need to see everything come out, and then that's when we need to fine-tune it. That's my opinion, right? Even if that means we have to slog through, you know, a horrible Void time for some, or a horrible Arc time for some, or Solar time for some. We kind of just need to suck it up and then get the data. And I wish Bungie would have came out with all of the 3.0s at one time versus just trickling them out and adjusting as they went, because they're adjusting for things that aren't in the... Anyway, I'm rambling on. Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks so much for watching. Super appreciate it. We'll see you guys soon. Enjoy the rest of your day.